Hello YouTube and everyone on it. Today we're looking at the Insignia mini display port to HDMI adapter 4K Ultra HD. Why would I need one of these? Because my Mac Pro 2013 Trash Can Edition, here lately the HDMI slot has been destroying my HDMI cables. I will go to unplug it every once in a while and move the Mac Pro to another room, and when I plug the HDMI back into it, it'll give me a purple screen with like dots all over the place. First I thought it was a GPU, but no, it wasn't the GPU at all. It was the HDMI cable was for some reason getting destroyed. I would buy a new HDMI cable, plug it in once, unplug it, plug it back in, and then hit the power button, and it would automatically destroy the cable. And then I'd go and plug the HDMI cable into another device, and some of them did the same purple thingy, and some of them actually still worked. So I know it is the Mac Pro 2013's HDMI slot, and I just figured that I would use an Insignia to HDMI mini DisplayPort adapter to hopefully circumvent that. And then you've got the adapter itself. I have never used a mini DisplayPort. I have just recently started using a DisplayPort because I got a monitor that actually has a DisplayPort regular size, but I've never used a Thunderbolt 2 / mini DisplayPort adapter, so I don't know if I'll notice anything different. It looks like this is gold plated, but then again, it's Insignia. They are hit and miss. This says, notice directional cable, connect this into PC. Well, obviously, but yeah, so it will be very exciting since I am using my very first mini DisplayPort, and literally 3 weeks ago I started to use a regular DisplayPort, and here we go, my first time ever plugging in a Thunderbolt, aka mini DisplayPort. There we go. Just took a second. And as you can tell, if it was a GPU issue, because it happened multiple times, it would almost automatically at the login screen be purple, and then I would still be able to type my password in from what I could see, and then the rest of this would be purple and pink, and it would just flutter all across the screen, which is usually a sign of GPU issues. Thankfully, I have proven that it is the built-in HDMI port that is somehow finicky when it comes to unplugging and replugging in HDMI cables. So I do know that it is the HDMI port. Now we're going to go to About This Mac and see if it is 4K. This should be showing as 4K because I am on Mojave. Let's see, displays. Yep, so it does show up. I don't know if you can actually see it, but it shows up as 3440 by 1440p, which I guess is 1440p, not 4K, but close enough. And that just proves that this isn't one of those fake Insignia products that usually say, 4K, 8K, 10K, or whatever, and it only shows up as 1080 or 1440p or anything like that. It actually does show up with the accurate display, and it does show up for my GPU, the AMD FirePro D500 3GB graphics, as being the main display and not the CPU, so that takes a little bit of a load off the CPU. So just beware if you do have a Mac Pro 2013. I had that one for about 2 years. After a while of, and I'm very gentle with my stuff, of unplugging and replugging in HDMI cables, it somehow will damage the port, and then that port will damage the HDMI cables if you unplug it and replug it back in. So don't panic. A lot of people were saying on Google that, oh my God, my screen is all purple and pink, and it was the exact same issue I was having, and noise was all over the place. It's the GPU failure. And a few people said that they actually sold their devices. Said, yeah, I sold my Mac Pro, I was having issues, and someone else can deal with it. And it turns out all you really need is either a new HDMI cable or a Thunderbolt / mini DisplayPort 2 to HDMI adapter, and it works just fine. So I am going to be using this for a long while instead of the HDMI port because I do not want it to damage a 6th HDMI cable. I would definitely recommend this Insignia adapter.